Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to our 1 o'clock focus for levels 10 to 13, our advanced levels. My name is Melissa. I'm from Australia and I am a teacher at Myers in Napoli. Our focus for this afternoon is called Food for Thought. And in this focus activity, we will be learning common food idioms and guessing the meanings of the expressions and practicing new expressions. I think the broadcast might have started late, so I will just introduce myself one more time. I am Melissa, you can see here, and I am from Australia. I am a teacher at Myers in Napoli. So when you join us, feel free to introduce yourself below. Okay, first discussion question. What's your favorite recipe? Pronunciation there can be a little bit difficult, so just to help you, I'll repeat. Recipe is the pronunciation, recipe. I don't know what my favorite recipe is. I have been experimenting a lot with cooking in this week of lockdown. I don't know what my favorite recipe is. I am not a sweet tooth, so my favorite recipe would be something savory. If you don't know what a sweet tooth is, to be a sweet tooth is to be someone who prefers sweet food over savory food. So I am not a sweet tooth, but we don't say savory tooth for the opposite. We don't really have a nickname for the opposite. We just say that we prefer savory food. But I do have a favorite sweet recipe. It's baked cheesecake would be my favorite sweet recipe. And I think my favorite savory recipe would just be a good pasta sauce. So let's look at some food idiom examples. In English, there are many expressions and colloquialisms relating to food. For example, that exam was a piece of cake. I'm 90% sure I aced it. No thanks. I don't think I'll come with you to the cinema. Romantic comedies aren't my cup of tea. So, some food idioms in there is to be a piece of cake. To be a piece of cake is if something is very easy. Okay, to be a piece of cake, to be very easy, something very simple. Okay, to say something is not my cup of tea, it's something that you don't like. Okay, it can be an activity that you don't like doing or something that you don't like. Okay, You can use it quite freely, okay, to be not my cup of tea, okay. We don't really use it in the affirmative to say, so, that is his cup. I've heard it. It's not as common, okay. We usually use it in the negative to say it's not my cup of tea. Another expression that I noticed in this phrase where the person said, I aced it. Okay, I aced it about the exam. Okay. To ace something is to do exceptionally well at something, okay? To do exceptionally well and achieve a very, very high or very good result, okay? Usually in reference to exams and tests, okay? I aced it. Means I got a very good result. I definitely was successful and I passed in this exam or test. Okay. So some ideas or prompts, I should say, to help you think of some possible idioms that you might already know. If you know any, or these prompts help you, please type them below. For example, cup and tea is the one that we just had a look at before. If something is not your cup of tea, okay, it's not my cup of tea. It means I don't like it. Here we have some more prompts. Cry, milk. Spill, beans. Apple, I. Nut and crack. If you think you know any of what these food idiom prompts could be, please tell me in the chat section. Let's have a look. Cry and milk, okay, is to cry over spilt milk. Okay, to cry over spilt milk. Okay, to cry over spilt milk, we use this when someone is upset for an unnecessary reason or maybe overreacting. Okay, when someone is overreacting or unnecessarily upset. Okay. To cry over spilt milk. So when someone is overreacting or unnecessarily upset, okay, we usually use it again in the negative, almost like an imperative. Don't cry over spilt milk, okay? It's just something small, a small problem. You don't need to get upset or to be upset about it, okay? Spill the beans, okay? To spill the beans. To spill the beans is to share some secrets or gossip, okay? When you see a friend and you know they might have some interesting news, you can say to them, come on, spill the beans. Oh, hello, Simonetta. I just saw your comment. Thank you. Riding a motorbike is not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea either. Very, very good use of the phrase. Thank you. Perfect. Perfect. Continue. Try practice using some of these ones that you can see. Okay. To be the apple of someone's eye. Okay. Can be used to when we say someone is very, very important or special to us. Okay. Okay. When someone is very, very important or special to you, it's often used from parents or grandparents about the children or grandchildren. Okay. And say, you are the apple of your father's eye. Okay. Or you are the apple of my eye. Means you are very important, maybe the most important person to me. But it's generally not used among friends or in a romantic context. It's more about with family and from someone older to someone younger is more the most common use of this idiom. Okay, and to be a tough nut to crack. Okay, the word tough there has two meanings. It can mean strong. Okay, to be tough can be to be strong, and to be tough can also mean to be difficult. And in this context, it means to be difficult. Okay, to be a tough nut to crack. Okay, we use to describe a person who is difficult to get close to, okay, or to get to know. Okay. Tough nut to crack is somebody who is difficult to form a close relationship with. It's difficult to get to know them. Sorry, I put get 2 times in there, my mistake. You can say that person is a real tough nut to crack. You need to continue to try and crack that nut many times until it will open, until the person will open. Okay. Great example, Simonetta, your little cousin. Perfect example of using this this expression. Just be careful, it's the apple of my eye. Just one eye for this one. Okay. Great. Beautiful. Thank you, Simonetta. Okay. Guess the meaning. Try to find the meaning of these expressions from their context. The little girl is the apple of her father's eye. He's a bad egg, so you should avoid him if you can. He spends the whole day in front of the TV. He's a real couch potato. At the moment, I think a lot of us are couch potatoes. Number 4, what's done is done. There's no use crying over spilt milk. Number 5, she won't want to come to the cinema with us. Horror films aren't her cup of tea. And 6, many people were egged on at the football match. Okay. So, if you are with us and you want to try to explain the meaning of these phrases with the idioms inside, please share below. You can try any of them, any sentence you want. Okay, any sentence you like. So number one was from the previous slide. We saw the meaning, okay? To be the apple of someone's eye is to be very special or very important to them. So you can see from number one that the little girl is very special or the most special person to her father, okay? The little girl is the apple of her father's eye. Okay. Number two, okay, to be a bad egg, okay. To be a bad egg is a kind of a bit of a gentle, not gentle, but a less offensive way to say that someone is not it's not the best influence or the best type of person to hang around and have a friendship or relationship with, because they could guide you down the wrong path. Okay, so to be a bad egg is to be a person that it is not a good idea to hang around. Okay, it's for someone to be a bad egg, to be a person that it's not a good idea to hang around. They could get you into a bit of trouble. Okay. Yes, correct, Simonetta. Number three, he's very, very lazy. That's perfect. A couch potato is a lazy person that likes to sit on the sofa or stay in bed all day. I can be a couch potato sometimes. Okay. Number four, we had a look earlier. To cry over spilt milk, okay, is when someone is overreacting or unnecessarily upset. And here it's used even as a kind of phrase of reassurance. Okay, what's done is done. There's no use. Means there's no purpose. There's no point in crying over spilt milk. Okay, being upset over this finished situation will not achieve anything. Okay, being upset is completely pointless. Okay, so that's the meaning of expression number four. And number five, we've spoken about a couple of times already, this phrase. This means that she, the girl they're speaking of, doesn't like horror films. Okay, she doesn't like them, so she won't join them at the cinema. Thank you, Simonetta. Yeah, it's a little bit. You can't have regrets. It's similar. Yeah, it's more about there being no point in having those regrets, if that makes sense. Okay, there's no point in worrying about these or having these regrets and being upset about this. Okay, there's no purpose and it will achieve nothing. Okay, I hope it's clear for you. Okay. And number six, many people were egged on. Okay, this is like a kind of colloquial phrasal verb. Okay, all right, to egg on. Okay, to egg on is to encourage. Okay, but we often use it in a bit of a negative form when people are encouraging something negative. For example, if there is a fight happening and there is a crowd going fight, 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 fight like this, you would say they are egging them on. They are egging the people that are fighting on. Okay. So it's usually when we describe people that are encouraging something not so positive. Okay. And yes, I think this is your response for number 5, Simonetta. It's correct. I'm sorry, Simonetta. I think if you've done some other webinars, you might know that the responses and your responses come through a little bit later for me. So, but I am watching them. Great. Okay, so there's some extra explanation of the idioms from the previous examples. The apple of his or her eye, someone who is very special to somebody. A bad egg, a bad person. A couch potato, a very lazy person, just like you said, Simonetta. And 4, to cry over spilt milk, to cry or complain about something that has already happened, so it won't change anything. Number 5, cup of tea, something someone enjoys or does well. So here it's in the affirmative, okay? To be someone's cup of tea is a positive, okay? Romantic films are my cup of tea. Horror films are not my cup of tea, for example. And you see it can be for something you enjoy, something you like, or something you do. It can be to describe an activity like you did, Simonetta, with the riding of a motorbike. And number 6, to egg on, is to urge someone on, to encourage them, to push them to continue something, but quite often used to encourage a negative activity. Not exclusively, but quite often in my experience. So some questions to practice using them. So Simonetta, if you're still with us, or anyone else, try to create some phrases using the idioms to answer these questions. Who or what is the apple of your eye and why? Have you ever known a bad egg? Are you a couch potato, or is one of your friends? Do you cry over spilt milk, or just forget a problem once it's happened? What isn't your cup of tea? Have you ever egged up someone on unnecessarily? Okay. So I think if you're still with us, Simonetta, you said that your little cousin is the apple of your eye. I have to say my little dog, Bruno, is the apple of my eye. Okay. I have a little dog, Bruno. He's in Australia with my mum at the moment, but he is definitely the apple of my eye because I have had him for a very long time, and he has been with me through many different parts of my life. He's definitely the apple of my eye. Number 2, have you ever known a bad egg? Yes, I have. I knew a few bad eggs in high school. Okay. You can see how I answered first with present perfect and past simple, then for more information. Yes, I have known a bad egg, and I knew a few bad eggs when I was in high school. Okay. Thank you, Simonetta. Fantastic. Fantastic. What about number 2 for you? And I'll answer number 3. Are you a couch potato? Yes, I am a couch potato. Sometimes. Okay. Yes, I am a couch potato sometimes. Usually on the weekends. As a very general question, I can say maybe I am a couch potato. Okay. Thanks, Simonetta. Your brother is a couch potato. Fantastic. Oh, well, is he enjoying this lockdown then? Lots of time for TV and the sofa. Okay. Also, a common pronunciation issue with this word in English is sofa. A lot of Italian students say sofa, I think because you borrow this word in your own language. But with English pronunciation, we put the stress on the O, sofa. Okay, sofa, and it's a long O, not the short O, but the long O, sofa. Okay. And number 4, do you cry over spilt milk or just forget a problem once it's happened? For me, I think I have to say that I tend to cry over spilt milk for a little while. I don't find it very easy to just forget a problem when it's finished or when it's happened. I definitely I dwell on it a little bit, which means I continue to think about it for a little while. So yes, me, I think I usually cry over spilt milk for a little while. Number 5, what isn't your cup of tea? I have to say, for me, adventurous sports and things like that are not my cup of tea. Okay, I am a little bit of a wuss. Okay, if you know this word, to be a wuss or to be a chicken. Okay, is to be afraid of a lot of things. Okay, to be a wuss or to be chicken is to be afraid of a lot of things, and I am a self-confessed wuss. I prefer to keep my feet firmly on the ground. And have you ever egged someone on unnecessarily? So yeah, it's asking unnecessarily, again, because it's in that context of encouraging things that are a bit negative. I don't think I have ever egged someone on unnecessarily. Again, I can't speak for my teenage years very confidently, but in my recent memory, I don't think I have ever egged someone on unnecessarily. Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm very sorry, Simonetta. I hope you are okay. I hope you weren't hurt. Thank you for sharing. And just for the word here is to have a crash. Okay, crush is when you crush something, okay? Like you can crush a can of Coke when it's finished to make it flat. This is to crush, okay? Or if you use it with the verb have, like you have to have a crush, we hear when you are romantically interested in somebody, okay? So to have a crush on someone, okay, is to like them romantically. Oops. Romantically. Okay. So to have a crush on someone is to like them romantically. Okay. If you see someone cute, you might have a crush on them. And to have a crash is when you have a crash with your car. Okay. But yes, I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you are okay. Okay, great. Okay, some more idioms that we can have a look at to guess the meaning. If you think you know any of them, please pop them below. You need to take everything he says with a pinch of salt. He's prone to exaggeration. Number 2, recently he's been working very hard to trying to bring home the bacon. He has no time to do anything else. My sister has a half-baked idea of starting her own business, but personally, I think it will fail. 4, everything has been handed to him on a silver platter, and now he is completely spoilt. My lawyer is very serious. He's a tough nut to crack. My colleague spends too much time buttering up our boss. He badly wants a promotion. Okay, let's have a look. So, number 1, the expression is to take something with a pinch of salt. Okay, to take something with a pinch of salt. Okay, and when we encourage people to take something with a pinch of salt, we are encouraging or suggesting to not take it too seriously and not give it too much importance, okay? Because, yes, the person might be exaggerating or be feeling very emotional and saying something that they don't really mean or that they don't really know is true for sure. Okay, so when we don't want them, when we want them to not take it too seriously, okay? Yeah, to take it with care, to think and consider it when you hear it, and not take it too seriously. Okay, great. All right. Number 2. Okay, to bring home the bacon. Okay, is to earn money for your family, for your family's needs. Okay, if someone brings home the bacon, we generally mean that this person is the breadwinner of the family. This might also be a new word for you. Okay, to be the breadwinner is the main money earner of the family. Okay, the parent or the person in the family who earns the most money is the breadwinner of the family. And to bring home the bacon is to earn the money, bring home that money to provide for your family. And if we say, for example, Giovanni brings home the bacon, that means he's the main breadwinner, the main money earner for that family. Or in other contexts, to bring home the bacon is to earn money for your family. Okay. All right. If something is half-baked, you might be able to understand this one just from its actual meaning of the word, to be half-baked. And it's generally in context to ideas, like in this example. Okay, to be half-baked is to be incomplete or not thought through. Okay. If an idea is half-baked, it's not quite complete, and you haven't really thought it through enough. Okay, it requires some more attention and some more thinking before it is a good or complete idea. Okay. All right, number 4. Okay, if everything is to be handed to someone on a silver platter. Okay, when we use it if someone receives, a lot of things or a lot of money, for example, without working for it. Okay. To be handed to someone on a silver platter. If something is handed to someone on a silver platter, so if someone receives a lot of things, a lot of money, a lot of opportunity. We can also use it with someone that gets a job or a very good opportunity in a work context. We can say, the job was handed to him on a silver platter. He didn't need to apply, need to interview or prove himself or anything. It was just handed to him on a silver platter. We can use it in any context to describe someone who has received good fortune without having to earn it or work for it, just given to them. Okay, another expression I hear used in this context, if we say if someone is born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Okay, if we say someone was born with a silver spoon in their mouth, means from the very beginning of their life, everything was given to them without any effort or work on their part. They have had all the opportunity and things that they could possibly want their whole life. Okay, if they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Okay. A tough nut to crack. We had a look at this one before. Okay, to be a tough nut to crack. Someone who is difficult to get to know, difficult to get close to, difficult to have a laugh with, and they always stay very serious and kind of closed off. Okay. And then the last one, to butter someone up. Okay. There are many expressions we have for this kind of action in English. This is probably one of the more polite ways to refer to this kind of behavior. But to butter someone up is when you give a lot of compliments, okay, a lot of compliments to someone for your own benefit. Okay, generally for your own benefit. Okay, to butter someone up is to give them a lot of compliments, to put them in a really good mood, make them feel really good so that it will somehow benefit you. Okay, maybe you want to ask for a favor, maybe you are hoping for a promotion, you want them to do something good, nice for you or helpful for you, so you butter them up. Okay, you butter them up to prepare them to help you without their knowledge. In a more informal kind of way, we also say to suck up to someone. Okay, to suck up to someone, okay, is to give them a lot of compliments, help them a lot, make their life really easy, to hopefully get in their good books. Less polite way, we say in English, to kiss ass. Okay, to kiss ass is to do the same thing. Again, you can see from the language that it's less formal, more for amongst friends. And yes, to kiss ass. Okay, another one which is even more impolite or a little more vulgar, we say to brown nose. This one's very yucky, but it's one we use. Okay, to brown nose. Okay, similar to kiss ass is the idea that you have your face in their bum, so your nose will become brown. Okay, and because you are trying to get something for yourself from them, you're trying so hard with all your compliments and all your help. So there's some very informal, not so nice ways, but we have a lot of ways in English to talk about this. Okay, I hope those are clear for you. If any of them are not quite clear, please tell me, and I can give you some more examples, or just clear them up a bit more for you. Okay. So, and a bit more of an explanation here, if any of them were not quite clear enough for you. So, to take something with a pinch of salt is to accept or believe only a part of something. And again, yeah, not take it too seriously and not take it for the full truth. To bring home the bacon, to earn your family's living, to earn the money for your family. Half-baked, it's not thought out or studied, not researched enough. It requires some more thought. Okay. Hand to someone on a silver platter is to give a person something that has not been earned. They haven't worked for it, no effort, or anything like that. A tough nut to crack, someone or something difficult to understand. So yeah, the context I use it more in is something or someone difficult to get close to, or someone difficult to laugh with and lighten up because they are always serious. And it can also be something or someone difficult to understand. To butter up is to flatter someone to try and get their favor or friendship. And yes, to flatter is another way of saying to give a lot of compliments, okay, to flatter someone, to make them feel very good, to try and get their favor or their friendship. Okay. So to practice using some of these in context, please feel free to put below your responses to any of the questions. Do you have any friends whose words you must always take with a pinch of salt? Yes, I think I have a couple of friends that maybe I think exaggerate a little bit, and we take what they say with a pinch of salt. And number 2, who brings home the bacon in your family? Well, I in my family unit back in Australia, I would say my father brings home the bacon. Okay. And number 3, has anything ever been handed to you on a silver platter? Let me see. I think my very first teaching job back in Australia was handed to me on a silver platter because the particular school was desperate for a teacher, an Italian teacher. This is in Australia. And they had nobody else to do the job. So I was offered the job as soon as I showed interest. So that job was handed to me on a silver platter. Number 4, have you ever had a half-baked idea that never followed through? I've probably had many of them. I think we all have some of those sometimes. Okay, some half-baked ideas that we never follow through because we haven't done enough study or enough thought, given it enough thought. Okay. Simonetta, you have a friend, Elena. So now when you talk to her, you take what she says with a pinch of salt. You've learnt from that. Very good. Can you think of an acquaintance who is a tough nut to crack? I often describe actually one of my best friends as a tough nut to crack. At the very beginning, they were always very serious and difficult to kind of get close to. But after time, we became very close, and I cracked them. Okay. Or maybe you are a tough nut to crack yourself. Okay. And would you ever butter people up to advance in the world? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. It's not really something that comes to mind for me to get something. What about you? Would you ever butter people up, or have you ever buttered people up, buttered someone up to advance or to get something that you want? You can share below. Any others that you'd like to try before we finish, Simonetta? One more idiom. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of our webinar for this afternoon. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Simonetta, for your contributions into the webinar this afternoon. I hope you are all well and taking care of yourselves during this interesting time, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye.